What if I told you that skipping your weekend chores isn't just leaving your house a bit messy? Like, what if it is actively costing you $50,000?
Right. And degrading your immune system at the same time.
Exactly. And literally shortening the lifespan of your most expensive home appliances.
I mean, it sounds completely absurd at first. We are all so conditioned to think of cleaning as just a baseline domestic obligation, you know?
Yeah.
You mow the lawn, you do the laundry, you run the vacuum. It's just a chore.
It's a chore. But today, we are completely flipping that script. We are doing a deep dive into some insights from Red Apple Cleaning.
They're a professional service out of Las Vegas and Henderson, Nevada.
Yeah, exactly. And the argument here is incredibly bold. They are breaking down how cleaning is actually a hidden financial lever and a serious health intervention, plus a profound psychological tool. Okay, let's unpack this.
It is a massive paradigm shift because when you really get into the mechanics of what they're talking about, you realize we have to completely abandon this casual idea of, just tidying up.
Right, because they call it something else.
Yes. What we are actually talking about is technical restoration. And looking at it through that specific lens completely changes how you view your living room or your office and ultimately your largest financial investments.
So to really get our heads around this,
Yeah.
let's look at the actual numbers first. Because dirt is, well, it's a literal financial liability.
It really is.
If you are sitting there wondering why you should even care about getting your house perfectly spotless, the data is just staggering. The National Association of Realtors consistently ranks a clean, decluttered home as the #1 top recommendation for sellers.
Number one.
Number one, it ranks above everything else. Above staging, above getting fresh paint, even above curb appeal.
Which makes perfect sense when you understand the psychology of a potential buyer. The human brain is essentially this threat detection machine.
Right.
When someone walks into a home they might purchase, they aren't just looking at the nice natural light. They're actively scanning for risk. They are looking for reasons to say no.
And a grimy baseboard triggers that threat detection perfectly. A buyer doesn't just look at a dirty baseboard and think, oh, that's a little dusty, I'll need to buy a sponge.
No, not at all.
No, it plants this really insidious seed of doubt. Subconsciously, they see a neglected baseboard and suddenly they're worrying about the HVAC system. They're wondering if the roof is leaking or, if there's mold in the crawl space.
What's fascinating here is how quickly the human brain extrapolates information. We take a micro-level visual cue like discolored grout in a guest bathroom, or maybe a little build-up around a light switch.
Yeah, those little things.
Exactly. And we instantly apply it to the macro-level maintenance of the entire property. The logic is hardwired. If the owner could not be bothered to wipe down the obvious things, what unseen, wildly expensive maintenance have they ignored for the last 10 years?
And that seed of doubt costs real money. The statistics from Realtor.com show that professional cleaning and staging can actually boost a home's sale price by 5 to 10%.
That's huge.
It is. On a $500,000 home, that is a $50,000 swing. But wait, I have to play the skeptic for a second here.
Go for it.
A $50,000 swing just for wiping down baseboards and vacuuming. I mean, that sounds almost too good to be true. Isn't a kitchen remodel, or maybe adding a new bathroom, a much better use of those funds to get that kind of return?
Well, that is exactly the trap most homeowners fall into. They think they need to spend $50,000 on a massive kitchen renovation just to make $50,000 back.
Right.
But if you look at the economics of home improvement, major renovations often have a return on investment that is actually much lower than the cost of the project itself. You might spend 50 grand and only add 30 grand to the home's actual value.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Cleanliness, on the other hand, is the absolute cheapest way to build immediate equity. It is the bridge between a property giving off a fixer-upper vibe and presenting as a true move-in ready reality.
So you're just removing the friction.
Exactly. You are completely removing the mental friction for the buyer, which allows them to easily justify paying a premium price.
Which means if we are yielding a $50,000 return, you can't just walk around with a standard spray bottle and a roll of paper towels.
Definitely not.
There is a massive structural gap between DIY tidying and professional execution.
Yeah.
And it starts with a biological phenomenon that I found completely mind-blowing. Nose blindness.
Oh, it's a critical concept. The reality is you are almost certainly nose blind to your own home right now. We all are.
It's like when you go away at a week-long vacation and you walk back through your front door, and for about 30 seconds you think, wow, my house smells like a wet dog and old garlic.
Yes.
But then 10 minutes later, the smell's just gone again.
Exactly. That is olfactory adaptation in action. It is a fundamental biological survival mechanism. Your nervous system is designed to detect new stimuli, like the smell of smoke or an approaching predator.
So it just tunes out the normal stuff.
Right. Your brain actively filters out constant familiar stimuli so it isn't perpetually overwhelmed. But the consequence of that adaptation is that you literally stop seeing and smelling the slow accumulation of grime.
That makes so much sense.
You stop noticing the thin film of dust on your ceiling fan blades. You stop noticing that the tile grout used to be white and, well, is now a light gray.
But a buyer sees it instantly. A guest feels it the absolute second they walk in. And this is why Red Apple Cleaning refers to their work as a technical restoration.
Yes, the methods are totally different.
We are talking about utilizing high-velocity vacuums, industrial HEPA filtration systems, and specific pH-balanced solutions.
Let's look at the chemistry of those solutions for a second, because that is where the DIY approach usually fails miserably. Most people just grab whatever all-purpose cleaner is under the sink.
Healthy.
Right. But if you use a highly acidic cleaner on natural stone countertops or grout, you are literally eating away the sealant. If you use the wrong alkaline solution on hardwood floors, you actually strip the finish right off. Yeah. Technical restoration means using the exact chemical compound required to lift the dirt without compromising the architectural material beneath it.
And it's also about targeting the unseen dirt.
Yeah.
The stuff you have lived with for so long, it has just become invisible.
Oh, definitely.
Think about the grease that has been living inside your kitchen rain hood for 3 whole years. Or the buildup in the sliding glass door tracks.
Or behind the appliances.
Yes, the dust behind your refrigerator. And that is not just gross. That dust acts like an insulating blanket on the refrigerator's condenser coils. It actively taxes the motor, making it run hotter and harder, which directly shortens the life of a very expensive appliance.
It really does.
Thinking you can achieve this level of deep, technical clean with a standard household vacuum is like thinking you're a mechanic just because you know how to drive your car through a drive-through car wash.
That is a perfect way to visualize it. A car wash makes the surface look shiny, sure, but it doesn't change the oil. And this highlights exactly why an external, systematic approach is necessary.
Because we just don't see it anymore.
Exactly. We become so habituated to our environments that it requires an objective third party, someone armed with industrial tools and a standardized, rigorous checklist to come in and spot the deterioration that is slowly degrading the space.
And we need to talk about the tools they use, because that degradation isn't just happening to the refrigerator motor, it is happening to our lungs.
This is a huge point.
We are moving from the visual stuff, what the buyers see and what the appliances feel, to the completely invisible, what we are actually breathing. The Environmental Protection Agency warns that indoor air can routinely be 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air.
It is a critical public health issue. We are talking about microscopic particulate matter, dust mites, pet dander, mold spores, pollen.
All the fun stuff.
Right, and all of it is constantly drifting down and settling deep into carpets, rugs, and upholstery. Those soft surfaces act like giant air filters, trapping all of this material.
But then we disturb it.
Exactly. Every time you walk across the room or drop onto the sofa, you are acting like a giant bellows, kicking those microscopic particles right back up into the breathable airspace.
And if you try to vacuum that up with a cheap standard vacuum, you're actually making it worse, right?
Often, yes. A standard vacuum just sucks up the dirt, catches the big crumbs in the bag or canister, and then blasts the really fine microscopic stuff right back out the exhaust port into your face.
Ugh, it's awful.
It is. That is why professional restoration relies on true HEPA filtration. HEPA stands for high-efficiency particulate air. It isn't just a tighter bag, it is a dense, complex web of fibers.
So it actually catches the tiny stuff.
Yes. As the air is forced through, it physically traps particles as small as 0.3 microns. To put that in perspective, a human hair is about 70 microns thick.
Wow.
So a HEPA system isn't just moving dirt around the room, it is permanently removing it from the ecosystem of your house.
It is a literal reset button for your home's health.
Yeah.
And the physical result is wild. It completely changes how the air feels. You take a room that just feels perpetually stuffy and heavy, and suddenly it is airy and crisp.
And the smells are gone.
Right. That lingering dog smell you went noseblind to, It is replaced by absolutely nothing.
And that absence of smell is the true gold standard of sanitation.
Wait, let me push back on that, because I know I am not alone in this deeply ingrained misconception.
Eh,
Isn't the strong smell of bleach or that incredibly artificial pine scent the literal smell of clean?
a lot of people think that.
Yeah, like when my house smells like a chemical factory, that is when I pat myself on the back and say I did a good job.
This raises such an important question about what actual cleanliness is versus what 50 years of consumer marketing has told us it is.
Okay.
We have been trained to associate heavy fragrances with sanitation, but the American Lung Association explicitly warns against this. Many common household cleaners, especially the highly fragranced ones, contain volatile organic compounds, or VOCs.
And what are VOCs actually doing to us when we use them?
They are gases that are emitted from certain liquids or solids, and they are notorious respiratory irritants. When you spray those heavy, pine-scented, harsh chemicals all over your bathroom, you are actually worsening your indoor air quality.
Wait, really? So we're making it worse?
Yes, you might be killing some bacteria, but you are trading biological pollutants for chemical irritants. It can trigger asthma, headaches, and allergic reactions.
That's crazy.
True, professional sanitation physically removes the dirt and the biological triggers without leaving a toxic chemical trail behind. As the pros say, nothing is exactly what a clean home should smell like. The health dividend of a proper deep clean is pure, neutral air.
Wow. So to achieve that perfectly odorless, healthy air, we actually have to look outside the home. To get to that level of clean, we have to look at how commercial cleaning logic is being applied to residential spaces.
Yes, looking at the hospitality industry.
Right. Think about the last time you walked into a really high-end hotel room. Why does it feel so fundamentally different, so much more pristine than a regular house?
It feels different because in a commercial hospitality environment, cleaning isn't a chore. It is a matter of corporate liability, health codes, and brand protection.
The stakes are higher.
Much higher. The protocols are entirely different. They aren't just wiping, they are systematically sterilizing.
Right. The hotel feel comes from these rigorous commercial standards. It is about identifying and treating high-touch points. The light switches, the door handles, the television remotes, the edges of the cabinets.
I have to get everything.
Yeah, the professionals treat these areas so intensely that they are functionally sterile. And this level of intervention is incredibly vital in a place like Nevada's desert climate, which is exactly where red apple cleaning is operating.
Oh, the desert presents unique challenges.
Out in Henderson and Las Vegas, you aren't just dealing with normal house dust. You are dealing with an ultrafine, abrasive, silicate desert dust that penetrates and settles incredibly quickly.
And if you are moving into a new place, utilizing that commercial standard of sterility is the only way to effectively erase the previous occupant's history.
Erase their history. I like that.
Yeah, you don't want to move your furniture, your children, and your life into a space that still holds the biological and environmental echoes of the people who lived there before you.
Erasing their history. That is such a visceral, perfect way to put it. But it is not just about the physical environment. It is about the psychological impact. And this is where the conversation takes a really fascinating turn. Clutter and grime are literally thieves.
They steal your focus.
Yes, and they actively spike your cortisol levels.
Yes, in the psychological realm, they refer to this as visual noise. Think about the fingerprints on a stainless steel fridge, a few crumbs on the rug, a stack of unopened mail on the kitchen counter, or a smear on the glass door.
Even if you aren't staring right at them.
Exactly. Even if you aren't consciously looking at those things, your peripheral vision is registering them.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Because your brain processes all that visual noise as an unfinished to-do list. It is exactly like having 50 tabs open on your computer browser.
That's a great analogy.
Right. You might only be actively looking at one tab. Maybe you're trying to watch TV or read a book. But your computer's RAM is being constantly drained in the background by the other 49 open tabs. Your brain is doing the exact same thing.
It's constantly scanning.
It is constantly subconsciously scanning the room, seeing tasks that need to be completed. And that low-level processing completely prevents your nervous system from downregulating and relaxing.
Think about how your own workspace or living room makes you feel right now. Does it feel like a sanctuary, or does it feel like a subtle list of demands?
A list of demands, for sure.
For a potential home buyer, stepping into a professionally cleaned, perfectly restored space completely eliminates that visual noise. It lowers their cortisol immediately upon entry. They feel calm. And it is only from that neurological state of calm that they can sit on the sofa and have the emotional thought, hey, I could live here.
But even if you aren't selling, if you are just staying put in your home, removing that visual noise is pure self-care. It frees up your mental RAM.
It gives you clarity.
It provides the baseline of mental clarity you need to actually be creative, to be productive, and to be present with your family instead of feeling vaguely agitated all the time.
Absolutely. And from that profound psychological benefit, we have to look at the physical reality of the home itself. Because while you are sitting there stressed out by the visual noise, the dirt you are ignoring is quietly doing something even worse to the physical house.
To the assets.
Right. This peace of mind translates directly to protecting your most expensive physical assets. This is the long game.
This part completely blew my mind. We have to look at the actual physics of dirt. Dirt is, at its core, highly abrasive.
Precisely. Dirt, especially that desert dust we mentioned, is largely made up of microscopic particles of silica, or basically sand.
Sand in their carpets.
Yes, it is literally harder than the wood of your floors or the synthetic fibers of your carpets.
When that dirt and dust sit in your carpet, they don't just rest there peacefully. Every single time you take a footstep, your body weight grinds those microscopic particles deep into the carpet fibers.
It destroys them.
It is the exact equivalent of taking microscopic sandpaper and vigorously rubbing it on your floors every time you walk across the room.
Yeah.
Over time, you are just shredding and destroying the material from the inside out.
And that abrasive friction isn't limited to soft surfaces like carpets either. The exact same physics apply to your expensive stone countertops and your tile grout.
Oh, man.
Grout and natural stone are highly porous materials. If you ignore the daily grime, normal moisture and capillary action slowly pull that dirty water and grease deep into the pores of the stone.
So it stains from the inside.
Yes. It leads to permanent, deep-set staining and premature wear and tear that no amount of late-stage, frantic scrubbing is ever going to fix.
Which means a deep cleaning isn't just about looking nice. It is fundamentally preventative maintenance. If you ruin your carpets and have to replace them, or if you need to completely refinish your hardwood floors, you are looking at spending thousands and thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands, easily.
Exactly. But regular professional cleaning costs a tiny fraction of that. In fact, this preventative approach can yield over a 400% return on investment compared to the cost of the service over the lifespan of those materials.
The math really makes sense.
So, what does this all mean? Are we basically saying that a professional cleaning service is less of a luxury for the wealthy and more like a necessary insurance policy against our own footsteps?
If we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yes, absolutely.
hiring professionals to execute this level of technical restoration is not an operating expense. It is a strategic asset management move.
Asset management, wow.
You are actively preserving the lifespan of your home's most expensive architectural components. You do this so that when the day finally comes to sell the property, that foundation of beauty is already there, perfectly preserved. You are not scrambling to hide damage before an open house because you never allowed the damage to occur in the first place.
Wow. We have covered some serious ground today. We started with a $50,000 real estate trick hiding in plain sight on your baseboards.
We really did.
We explored the actual mechanics of olfactory adaptation and how HEPA filters physically remove microscopic threats from our air. We exposed the hidden dangers of those pine-scented VOCs, applied commercial hotel sterility to our own living rooms to free up our mental RAM, and discovered how the dust we ignore acts as literal sandpaper on our biggest financial investments.
It completely redefines the concept of a clean room. It elevates it from a mundane chore to a critical practice of wealth and health management.
It really does. Whether you are prepping for a chaotic move out in the Nevada desert, or you are just trying to reclaim your personal sanctuary from the daily grind, the space you inhabit deeply and constantly influences your physical and mental well-being.
And as we wrap up, there is one final thread here that I think is worth reflecting on. We talked a lot today about how visual noise subconsciously drains your energy and how physical dirt acts like hidden sandpaper on your assets over time.
Yeah.
Well, it makes you wonder, if our physical spaces hold on to the history of previous occupants and the heavy weight of neglected tasks, what other areas of our lives are weighed down by invisible emotional clutter that we've simply gone noseblind to?
Oh, man, that is a heavy one. That is going to keep me thinking all day long. To everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, take a look around your space, take a deep, clean breath, and we will see you on the next one.